So Vechain has recently been seeing a very strong force towards the downside. The question now is, will we get a very strong bounce where we are right now, or will we see much lower levels ahead here? So in this video guys, we are once again back with Vechain, ticker symbol VET or VET, and we will be doing a Vechain price prediction and technical analysis. If you guys enjoy these Vechain updates and want to see more of them, it's always super awesome and helpful when you show that by dropping a like. And real quick before we get started here, I just have to give a disclaimer. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Nothing in this video is financial advice. But alright guys, now to get started right away here. And right now as we're speaking, we are looking at the daily time frame, and as we can see here from the very top, Vechain printed here November 9 down to where we are right now, we have been seeing a drop of around 40%, so a very strong drop here from the local top. And the first thing I do want to talk about in this video is where can we actually see a bounce for Vechain, what are some levels to pay attention to. And let's actually switch the attention here to the 4-hour time frame, because in my opinion Vechain has starting now, recently, we are starting to build a downsloping channel, right? So we have consecutive lower highs, so one high, lower high, lower high, and at the same time we are printing consecutive lower lows. What I do need to point out also is that in a previous video, we actually talked about a smaller pattern inside this one. We talked about some sort of falling wedge here, a pattern that looked something like this. And as you can see here, it looked very optimistic. Oops. It looked optimistic for a while. We got a 4-hour candle close above this pattern, but as we can see here, right after that we actually saw a very strong move to the downside. And as you probably know, pretty much the whole crypto market was dropping, so that was super unfortunate. And this leads to one very important thing about technical analysis, and that is that technical analysis is all about probabilities. When a bullish pattern breaks towards the upside, what that means is that the odds is on our side and that we have a higher probability of going up than going down, but it's never certain. And this is an example of this. We saw a very strong drop right after we broke a bullish pattern. And one risk you need to take into account when you're talking about altcoins is always that if Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market falls, then usually the rest falls as well. So that's a very common principle. But alright guys, so now let's take a look at the upside scenario. What are some very important resistance levels and target levels that we need to pay attention to here in the short term, in my opinion? And the first one I am looking out for, it is this zone right here in between around 0.127 to 0.122. And this one have been acting both as support and resistance multiple times. We can see recently, support 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. Looking a bit left here on the chart, we can see that this one also acted as support. You can see here in late October, October 31. October 28. Looking even more left, we can see resistance here multiple times. And also we can actually look all the way back here to the middle of September. We saw resistance multiple times. So as you can see here, this zone in between 0.127 to 0.122 is a very key resistance zone, and definitely one we need to pay attention to here for Vechain. However, if the bulls manage to push above this one, then the next thing I'm paying attention to is also here on the 4-hour, and that is this upper line of the channel. You can see 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch as resistance. So I would not be surprised here if we see some sellers coming in at that level later on. Now we're switching back here to the daily time frame, and the next key level on the upside, a key resistance zone I'm paying attention to, and we have been talking about this one in multiple videos. It is this one right here in between around 0.156 to 0.141. Why is this one important? Well, to understand that, we need to look at historical data once again here. We see that this one acted as support multiple times here in the middle of November. We saw this one as resistance right here, October 26. Looking left here, we saw this one as resistance September 5th. Saw this one as resistance in the middle of August. And we can actually look way back, all the way back here to June and May, and see the price reacting to this zone back then as well. So this is yet another key zone. And a very important step for the bulls here is to get that daily candle close above this one and finally start to push once again towards the local top. And this level is at around 0.187. That said, can the bulls push above 0.187 as well as this, you can see, upsloping purple line that acted multiple times here as support? You could look out for this one flipping as resistance. But if we break this one, then the next one we are looking out for is all the way out. This is yet another zone we have been talking about a lot on the channel, in between around 0.277 to 0.266. Looking a bit left, we will see where this one comes from. The upper line basically comes from the all-time high we printed here April 17. the lower line basically comes from the twister top we printed a few days later here on April 19 and 20. But alright guys, so we're now soon gonna take a look at something that in my opinion is much more important than our upside scenario. We for example have some bullish signs here on the indicators, but real quick before doing that, I have a very important question, and that is of course guys, what are you drinking today? Right now I'm sipping on my morning coffee. It was quite a lot of milk involved, but please let me know guys down in the comments, what are you drinking today? Now I do want to talk about a divergence, a bullish divergence we are seeing here on the 4 hour. So as you can see, let me actually show this with another color. So let me show this with yellow. You can see that from here to here we print one low and then a lower low on the price. But if you take a look at the MACD, you can see that the MACD prints a higher low, and we're also seeing a higher low here on the RSI. So when the price prints a lower low, the indicators prints a higher low. This is what we call a bullish divergence, indicating a potential reversal here. So that is one bullish variable that indicates a reversal, and definitely something to pay attention to. But as for the downside, what you really don't want to happen, we really don't want to break this down sloping purple line. You can see we have been having at least 1, 2, 3, pretty much 4 touches here. So that is the first sort of support level I'm looking out for Vechain, and another horizontal level that we really don't want to break. Let's actually switch here to the daily. It is this support right here at around 0.102. Why is this one important? Well, looking a bit left, we can see that this one acted as a pretty important support here on October 12, and this one was also a previous clean resistance here, September 23rd. So clean resistance, broke resistance, flip resistance to become support. Definitely something, you know, if we continue the fall here, definitely something to look out for. That said, if we even break that one towards the downside, then we are looking down all the way down here to the zone 0.084 to 0.082, and this one basically comes from the double bottom. You can see we had one low and yet another low here in September. Looking a bit left, we can also see that this one could argue here acted as resistance, broke resistance, flipped resistance to become support. So that is another, you know, support level if it starts to go really bearish here for Vechain. But alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you feel like you got any kind of help or value, then please consider dropping a like. And if you guys are interested in more, then don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope I'll see you guys in the next video. But for now guys, take care. Ciao, ciao.